Celebrating the connection with our pets. This is Animal Radio, featuring your dream team. Veterinarian Dr. Debbie White, dog trainer Alan Cable, groomer Joey Villani, communicator Joy Turner, and here are your hosts, Hal Abrams and Judy Francis.
It is a lost show today.
Lost?
Lost. Well, you booked it.
Are we all lost?
No, we're found.
Oh, that's good.
But we're going to talk about your lost animals. Find that amusing, huh? Don't you?
Yeah, we're all lost.
We usually are. But today we're talking about lost animals. We're going to be talking about the secrets of lost cats. This is kind of an interesting story. A lady who's looked at these lost cat signs that are hung on like telephone poles in your supermarket.
All over your neighborhood, yeah.
And she's going to go behind the scenes. She's actually talking to the people and getting their stories. Very interesting, and look forward to speaking to her in just a few minutes. Also talking to a guy who's invented an application, a face recognition application for your smartphone. Sorry, Ellen. That you can find your animals if they get lost using this application. So that's on the way right here on Animal Radio. Big show for you. And, of course, the phones are open. Now, just a few minutes ago, we had to tear away Ladybug from the TV. And because Dog TV is now on DirecTV, and this whole month it's free. After this month, it becomes $4.99 for those of you that don't know what Dog TV is. It's a television show or television station 24/7 specifically for dogs. And it includes...
We
did.
that guy on that
we did have a guy.
About a year ago.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
And he was just kicking off in San Diego. Now he's on DirecTV. He's gone nationwide with this.
Getting big.
And our good bud Marty Becker, too, is also on that. But here's the deal. The views are all from...
Street level.
Dog level.
Yeah.
The camera moves around very fast.
Oof, too fast for me.
Yeah, I have a little trouble with... I get a little nauseous from it. But there's a lot of skepticism. Many people are saying dogs really can't see that because the refresh rate for a TV is usually about 60 hertz. That's what humans see it. And for dogs, they see it at about 70 to 80 hertz. So what they see is black screen and then something and then black screen. So they don't actually see what's there.
But I thought with the new TVs
the newer TVs have a higher refresh rate. So this is not across the board. There may be some TVs that they can see this on. Animal behaviorists say dogs don't watch TV when you're gone. They like to sleep. And, in fact, it was Catherine Hoopt. She's out of, I believe, Cornell University. She says most dogs sleep while you're gone, and they wake up about every 20 minutes or so, get a drink of water, then scratch themselves and turn around and go back to sleep.
Sounds like my husband.
It's a beautiful life. It's a wonderful life. It's the life I want.
Yeah.
But, I figured why not go right to the source? Let's figure out what Ladybug is thinking and if she really likes this. She is watching it.
Yeah.
And I figured who better than animal communicator Joy Turner to answer this question. Is it worth the $4.99 a month for Ladybug to get the DirecTV Dog TV?
Ladybug says if you are a bored dog, definitely get it.
A bored dog. Okay.
A bored dog. If you're bored, in other words, if your people are gone all the time, she doesn't consider herself really a bored dog.
No, I should hope not.
Because we're here all the time with her.
Exactly. So she was doing what she considered her job's duty.
Okay.
By checking this thing out. She says it actually is kind of novel and it's kind of interesting, and it does capture a lot of what she thinks dogs would be interested in. It's just she thinks you need to be bored because she sees it now as kind of novel, so she'd watch it. But after a while, she would rather be doing her normal life, which is, she thinks, a lot more active.
Yeah, I feel that same way about CBS. Go ahead, Alan.
Joy, being as though Hal and Judy are with Ladybug, just about all the time. They're always around Ladybug. Be honest now. Doesn't Ladybug wish they would leave sometimes? I mean, doesn't she just wish they'd go away?
Hey.
She's trying to be diplomatic, and she says, she kind of whispers to me. She goes, I think
yes.
I'm a little needy. So
we're a little needy? Is that what?
We're the needy
really? She's a little needy.
Oh, she is. Okay.
And she says, really, the other half of that is what you just said. You guys are a little needy of her. So even though sometimes she could tolerate being by herself a little bit, she thinks you guys would not want to tolerate being without her that little bit.
That's true.
Dogs are givers.
It's true, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
See that?
That is absolutely correct.
The harsh reality.
It is harsh. It's a real slap in the face there. We're going to go ahead and leave her in front of the TV for this month. This month it is channel 354 on DirecTV. You can watch it, and really, it's not for humans unless you can do the whole motion thing, because
I can't do
it. Gets me a little nauseous. But here's the thing: I just don't want to be fighting for. I already fight for the remote control with my wife and my kids, and now it's going to be the dog.
Yep.
So.
Especially when the dog runs under the bed and you can't get it with the remote.
Yeah. Be looking in that hole in the backyard for your remote if it's missing. At $4.99 a month. Seems a little steep for a channel that you won't be watching, only your dog will be watching. I'd love to hear what you think. Would you pay $4.99 a month for your dog to watch dog TV all day?
People leave their radios on. At least now they're going to have sound and something to watch, visual.
Hal, why do you assume that there aren't people out there who won't watch this channel? There are. There are people out there who will get addicted to this channel and watch this channel.
Are you speaking about yourself, Alan?
Maybe.
I think the kind of people would be like, hey, dude, don't bogart that, man. Don't change the channel. I don't want to watch Survivor. Or I don't have CBS. But you still have that dog TV, sort of similar in nature, if I might say so.
You know what they should do, April Fools? They should just turn off every cable channel except dog TV.
Good idea.
Ooh.
That's a good idea.
Go.
Listen, we're going to go to the phones next. We're going to talk to you.
You talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
I missed you last week, Joseph.
Hi, Violet. How are you doing?
Fine, how are you?
Good. Where are you calling from today?
Over in Pooch's Playground, and I have some bad news for some of my little ones doing again here. My customers are asking if they could fix their Maltese because she is being aggressive to people when they hold her. And when she's in the car, she barks at them and tries to get to them, and then all the people that come to her house, she tries biting them.
Wow.
Oh, she's a little spitfire, let me tell you.
Well, let me ask you this. This dog is in your daycare. When the dog starts barking like a maniac, what do you do?
I have to tell him no.
And then what does he do?
He keeps barking.
Exactly. Pays no attention to you at all.
No,
Zero.
No.
Nada. Nothing.
He thinks he's the boss, and that's because of the way they raise him.
Hey, you just put your finger on the pulse of the problem. He thinks he's the boss. Now, let's just tell the listeners why do dogs bark, okay? Dogs bark for a variety of reasons. Maybe something physically is wrong. That could be a reason. Aside from that, they want attention. They're bored. They're frustrated. They're afraid. They're protecting their territory. They're excited. They want to play. And that's pretty much every reason why a dog will bark, and to alert you that somebody's coming. So the easiest way to get a dog to stop barking is to be territorial and be a pack leader and take over the territory as your own. So if your dog were, let's say, running to the front door and barking every single time the doorbell rang, you would immediately take that space away and herd your dog away from the door and teach your dog to lay on a blanket. Tell your dog, go down, stay in your spot. Down, stay in your spot. You also teach your dog the word quiet. And when you get your dog to lay in his spot, you give him a treat. You have a buddy help you with this. You have somebody outside, and you have him on a cell phone, and you go, okay, knock on the door now. And your dog starts to go nuts, and you go, get back on that blanket. Down, stay. Dog does it. Good dog. Give him a treat. And you progress until the person is until they're coming through the door. And if you have a real bad case, every person that comes through the door should have a treat for the dog and actually go over to where the blanket is or where the dog's spot is and give the dog a treat. So the dog forms a good association with people coming through the door. And you have to be consistent. You have to be patient. And above all, you have to be calm and you have to be confident. And you also can't give up. It doesn't work one time. You have to do it for a long time. To change dog behavior is a process.
I tell them to get up in their chair and sit down, and they do.
Don't tell them, that's good. If the dog knows what get up in the chair is, that's good. Forget about the word no. You've got to use a correction. As soon as the dog starts to bark, poke the dog in the neck with your fingers and go, shh, just like that. Give him a poke and shh.
I do it with the big dogs, on the back end.
With the little dog, as soon as that dog starts to go crazy, walk right in front and stand there for a second. And if the dog doesn't stop barking, take the dog, put the dog in a quiet room or in a crate.
But
every time.
Hold her 24/7, and
What'd you say?
they
I'm
don't
sorry.
walk her.
Well, see, that's a problem too. Dogs need exercise. I mean, if a dog doesn't
hold her and baby.
Well, you can't train the owners. It's real sweet that you call for the owners. I mean, that you're the middleman. That's real sweet of you to do that.
I'm in the middle of this,
Yeah, but you can't help these people because I tell you what, there's so many people that can't be helped. I mean, they come to me all the time. All the time they come up
for Puffy, and now he's doing good because the owner did the crate, And then now he's doing better. Now he's on a diet. So
I love you. You know what?
And he thought he was the alpha.
Joey and I are going to come stay with you. We love you. Joey's going to groom everybody and everything that walks and talks, and me, I'm just going to stand there and go, hey, shh.
Boy,
you're nice.
Easy under that.
They take these dogs to Las Vegas. They take these dogs in strollers. They take these dogs everywhere.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. I mean, they're not treating
the. Put them on a leash. Get them walking.
That's right. That's right. You got dogs are dogs. Dogs are not people. Dogs don't belong in strollers. That's insane.
Yeah,
that's kooky.
I mean, they put pajamas on these dogs. They put everything in here. I'm combing them out.
I went to a wedding in New Jersey one time when I was a kid. It was outside, and this lady comes up to me. It was under a tent. Rich people were having it. This lady comes up to me in a stroller, with a stroller. She says, "You want to see my babies?" And I go, "Sure." And she pulls back the blanket. She's got these two miniature little white things in there, little poo-poo, foo-foo dogs. And I'm like, "This
was you?
This lady's crazy." Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Poo-poo dogs, but I don't do that. They are on leashes and they walk.
Mm-hmm.
I have a stroller, guys. I hate to say it.
So does Judy.
See, I break all your rules, don't I?
You bet.
You sure do.
Dogs or cats, horse or emu, animals are people too.
What is a hairball anyway? And why are cats always throwing them up? Hairballs are just that, balls of cat hair. Cats regurgitate hair in food products they can't digest. There are actually two types of hairballs. Cats make one type in the back of their throat and another in their stomach. Both feel equally as disgusting when you step on them in the middle of the night. You can cut down on hairballs by brushing your cat often or using one of the many hairball remedies at a pet supply store. Make sure you have your cat checked out by a vet if you think the vomiting is not hairball related. But hairball tossing is perfectly normal, even in a healthy cat. So watch where you step. I'm Britt Savage for Animal Radio.
Animals are people too. Animal Radio.
I would love to go on vacation, but I don't want to leave our Charlie behind.
I agree. I heard that the magazine Fido Friendly lists places where you can stay with your pet. They also offer reviews so you have an idea about pet policy to include any restrictions, fees, and what pet amenities to expect.
That's, dare I say, awesome. What are we waiting for?
I'm way ahead of you. I just logged on to FidoFriendly.com and found a 4-star resort, Hilton Santa Fe Resort and Spa at Buffalo Thunder in New Mexico.
Charlie agrees. When do we leave?
As soon as you can pack your bags. It's off to adventure with Charlie, thanks to Fido Friendly Magazine. To find your next family adventure that includes your furry family friend, log on to FidoFriendly.com.
Hey, it's Vinny Penn coming at you, your party animal. Got together in New York City the other day to meet up with a girlfriend of mine going way back. She shows up with she's got a new dog, Puffy. I don't know if it's a Diddy thing. I really don't know. And I immediately accused her of being Paris Hilton, or a Paris Hilton wannabe, rather. To which she deflected and shot back that I was a Rick Springfield wannabe when she first met me. And I used to have a working class dog T-shirt. And she claims I got my first dog because of Rick Springfield's love for dogs, which has been something we've fans of his have known for a million years. And I had quite a few things to say to that. One, first and foremost, Rick's got a great new album out, and it kicks ass. And if you're a Rick fan, go out and get it. But two, isn't it funny how we associate certain animals with certain celebrities? I don't think I ever really realized it until today. Here she was with this tiny little dog, and I immediately associated her with Paris Hilton. She immediately associated me with a certain type of dog with Rick Springfield. Another friend of ours has a pig, and we're constantly making George Clooney jokes. That's not really true. But you do. You associate pigs with George Clooney. Whenever the subject of neutering or spaying comes up, you think Bob Barker. You also think Bob Barker when you think of old men hitting on 25-year-old girls, too. But that's besides the point. The fact of the matter is, celebrities carry such clout. in what they could do with a certain animal type. I know back when Michael J. Fox did the voice for Stuart Little, for the longest time he was associated. And even Mel Gibson back in the day when he did the movie, I'm trying to think of the movie he did right now with the chickens, and they were trying to make a break for it. And you associated him with that long before you associated him with DUIs and other horrific stances and beliefs. But these celebrities are linked to, there's got to be a board game in this.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
We have Pam for Dr. Debbie. Hi, Pam. How are you?
I'm okay.
What's going on?
Okay, I rescued this kitten about, it's been almost a year. I haven't had her spaded yet. I don't know if she's coming in heat or what, but she cries. I mean, like maybe once or twice out of the month, she'll like this crying sound.
Okay. And what is she doing when she's crying? Is she trying to track you down, trying to come closer to you? Is she by the doors?
Okay, I have 4 other cats, but they're all spaded. They've been spaded since they were real little. Mm-hmm. And she'll go up to them and lay down or try to rub up against them. And, I mean, just do all, kinds of things. They love her, but she just, I don't know if she's trying to come in heat. I don't know if she's hurting. She's like tall and skinny.
Okay, I'll tell you what, Pam. The simple truth, it sounds like your cat is just horny. It really does. Kitties will.
I brought a kitten from downstairs that hadn't been fixed up here. Well,
Why? Are you looking for trouble here?
No, I'm not, but I wanted to find out if she was really in heat. And she slapped him. She got mad at him. She hissed at him. Her hair stood up.
That's love.
So I told my manager, just take him away because she was getting really violent.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, for kittens or for cats, they can go into heat generally about 6 months. But, I've seen some female cats go into heat as early as 4 or 5 months of age. But when they do go into heat, it's pretty obnoxious. They'll definitely kind of meow, carry on. A lot of times they'll take their backside and stick it towards their favorite loved one, whether it's either a person or another animal. And they'll stick their tail up really high, do a lot of rolling behavior. Now, and they'll go in and out of heat, and that's the crazy thing with cats, is that it just doesn't stop. Like a dog will go into heat twice a year generally, and you're done and over with it. With cats, you can count on this fun pretty much year round, because they'll go into heat for a couple days, and then they'll go out for a couple weeks, and then it'll come back. So, yeah. Exactly. I'd say get that taken care of. But my goodness, you tempt fate getting that boy around there. And, the way that cats mate, when they're mating, they actually turn around and they fight. So, there's a little bit of love there, but there's also a little bit of hate.
Oh, okay. Okay, because it was like, let me see how she acts with this one that hasn't been fixed. And because my male cats, they've been fixed since they was kittens. And then, and they're like 9 years old, and my female's 9. But I rescued her out of the alley. Her mama just dropped her, and I've had her ever since. And they just took to her. Matter of fact, they made them lazy things get up and play. She made them play with her, but I just didn't know. I kept thinking, man, my daughter said, Mama, she's coming in heat too much if that's what she's doing.
Yeah, you got to get it done, and not only for for her to go out of heat, but there's a lot of health issues.
I know.
A lot of she could avoid. What kind of cancers can she avoid, Doctor?
Well, the big thing in females, it would be avoiding mammary cancer. That's the big one. So if we take away that estrogen production, then we can decrease the risk of breast cancer. But there's also the other, pyometra, the uterine infection. And, just that desire for her to sneak out that door when she's feeling especially amorous. So, yeah. And you asked something, is she in pain? We don't know. It's certainly possible that cats could be having cramps. We don't know. So, I guess you'd make the argument, heck, most women hate their periods, so, why not spare her that heartache there?
Thanks for your call today. We appreciate it, Pam.
I never really understood the value of having a good credit score until I started to make a few purchases recently. Then it hit me like a ton of bricks. Because my credit score was in the 600s. I was borderline getting denied on my new apartment. And guess what? My new car payment is about 30% more. Having bad credit can even affect your credit card rates. Having a good credit score is important to your financial future, and you can save a lot of money. Call the Credit Pros right now. In a free phone call, we can tell you exactly how to improve your credit score. Plus, learn about our 60-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not happy after 60 days, we'll give you 2 months free. Make this free call right now for a free consultation and free credit review. 800-292-6156. 800-292-6156. 800-292-6156. That's 800-292-6156.
This is an Animal Radio News Update. I'm Stacy Cohen for Animal Radio. Well, we've already got channels devoted to food, sports, comedy. There's even a dog channel just for dogs. Well, viewers in China are soon going to be able to enjoy a channel that features nothing but giant pandas. According to China's official Xinhua news agency, the so-called Giant Panda channel will broadcast footage of the animals around the clock at iPanda.com. It's going to start next month. Sources at this research base of the giant panda breeding in southwest China say there will be 28 high-def cameras keeping track of all 80 pandas at the facility. The website started posting video clips a few weeks ago. They've already attracted almost 15,000 internet users. A vacationer became horrified after he ate a rare six-legged octopus. According to the British newspaper The Daily Telegraph, Labros Hydrus discovered this rare hexapus while he was snorkeling in Nero, Greece. Well, he killed the hexapus. This might be graphic. You might want to hold your ears. He smashed it on a rock and then, ready for this, he took it to a local bar to cook it. I don't know. Do they do that where you live, where you just kill something on the side of the road, you bring it into the bar, say, hey, fry this up? I don't know. Maybe they do that in Greece. Well, anyway, the tavern chef wouldn't fry up the octopus. Good for him. So Labros took it back to where he was staying, and he cooked it himself. Afterward, he contacted a biologist who told him that the six-legged octopus was extremely rare. While Labros feels horrible about killing and eating the rarity, he says he simply thought it had just been born with 6 tentacles. He thought it was just a, kind of a freak of nature, and nobody would miss it. Little did he know. Maine's North Woods have a visitor who could turn into a full-time resident. The visitor is a 140-pound black guinea, not a pig, but a hog. The animal and another hog were being hauled to slaughter when a trailer door opened during transit. Both of these little pigs got out. The Bangor Daily News says that one hog was shot, slaughtered. They ate him, too. But the other one got out into the woods, and the president of the American Guinea Hog Association says the breed's talent for finding food in a coat that can withstand cold weather could mean that pig could live out the next 20 years running free. 2 new videos from Canada creating a stir about the possible existence of Bigfoot. They show the large figures in the forest, but are too far away to be seen clearly. Dr. Jeff Meldrum, he wrote this book, Sasquatch, Legend Meets Science, and he says that he has seen the videos.
Its vagueness makes it of very little value. It could be anything.
The videos out of British Columbia surfaced after a Canadian app called Play Mobility put out a request for images of Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, and its Canadian cousin, Agapogo. The company has an app called Legend Tracker. It drops such creatures into real settings. Legend Tracker spokesman Miles Marzini says the company did not have a hand with the user-submitted videos. Bigfoot could actually be out there. I'm Stacy Cohen. Get more animal breaking news at animalradio.com. This has been an Animal Radio News Update. Get more at animalradio.com.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Here's Hal and Judy.
You know, you see these signs on the posts, telephone posts, or at your local supermarket for a lost cat or a lost dog.
They're all over my neighborhood.
This is, and you know what? Sometimes it's, they're weird. Like they'll say, he likes to watch Star Trek or Star Wars, and strange things like that really don't help you find the animal or anything like that. But our next guest, Dr. Nancy Davidson, she wrote a book. The Secret of Lost Cats, I think, is her book.
Yes.
And I say that because I don't have a copy of it in here. Does it exist? Is there a copy of the book? I don't. Don't worry about it, Judy.
You're so well prepared.
I am well prepared. And that's, I think, when people think Animal Radio and they think Hal, they say, well, one, he's a giver, and two, he's really well prepared. But she put together the book, The Secret of Lost Cats. She went undercover. She went to these signs, and she called the owners, and she interviewed the owners and found out their stories, because everybody has their story. We welcome Dr. Nancy Davidson to the show. Hi, Doc. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you.
So tell us how you got involved. I'm assuming probably you lost your animal, and that's how you got involved in this.
Yes, I was living in Connecticut at the time, New Haven, and I had a very friendly cat, and no one had seen him. And after a day or two, I put up a poster, and literally my life changed after that. I had so many positive responses from strangers calling me, wishing me good luck, hoping I found him, although they had no information to give me specifically about how to find him.
Why do you think so many people reached out to you? Was your sign different? What did your sign say?
Well, I had a sign where my poster was in orange. My cat was an orange cat, and I drew a picture of him and colored him in orange, gave him a little bit of a smile because he was a happy cat, and I put characteristics of him on the poster, phrases like is friendly, will follow you, acts hungry. The people walking by, it's a small-town neighborhood, and there's just some warmth there, and the universal longing that we all feel when someone's missing. We go, oh, what happened? I hope they're okay.
Did you find your cat?
Wow, you're cutting right to the end of the story.
Okay, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to cut to the end of the story, so go on.
The point of the story is that I went on a wild goose chase finding Zach, and I got strange phone calls. I got a call from a guy who said he found an orange cat in the Polish church at midnight 2 nights ago, and he couldn't get close because the cat was wild and snarly, and he hoped that this was helpful. And, I'm playing this back on my answering machine, and I'm thinking, was this helpful? 2 days ago at midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, he saw this, feral vampire cat, and my cat's the kind that licks you on the nose to say hello. But having no other clues, of course, I ran over to the Polish church and looked around, the grounds. And at one point, I looked at a statue, and I thought, oh my God, this is Saint. I have no idea. My cat is a lapsed Jew with some Buddhist influences. He is so not here.
You're
awesome. On the way home, I thought to myself, well, how are other owners finding their cats? I mean, were they getting, calls like I was, and were people leaving them empathy and, good wishes? And my attention was turned to lost cat posters, and I saw them everywhere.
And then did you call the people that were on these posters?
Eventually I ended up calling them, but I first went through a phase of trying to understand why each of the posters seemed a little different. Someone would write, other cats miss him. Someone would say, my 4-year-old is heartbroken. And I started to realize that there were snippets of information and stories about the owners. And so not only did I want to know whether the cat was rescued, I wanted to know the story behind the lost cat poster. Who's the owner? We're also asked to be, little deputy searchers. They're counting on us maybe to have seen the cat and report it, and yet we're never going to find the outcome because everything's so private.
So are you going to tell us about Zach?
Well, the Zach story, it really was a mind blower to me. So he was missing for 5 days, and I had no clues. Now, as a therapist, a lot of clients came and went, and they'd say, "Where's Zach?" Zach would greet them on the porch or sit in the session. And one woman on her way out of the session threw a card on my desk and said, "Maybe you should call my psychic." I look at the poster, and it's been 5 days, and I'm crying again. And then I thought, what do I have to lose? So I picked up the psychic's number. I called. The woman picked it up, and I said, "Hello, do you find lost pets?" And I heard silence. And then I heard the click of a cigarette lighter and an inhalation of smoke. And on the exhale, I heard, "He's alive." And, excuse me, I just started choking from my inhalation.
From your phony smoke.
She says, "He's alive." And I'm like, really? How do you know? And, I didn't want to be totally taken in. And at the same time, I was like desperate for information. Again, she inhales and she exhales and she says, "Beautiful cat, orange, bushy tail." And I'm like, how did she get his coloring right? And Zach's still alive. And I say, "Well, he's been gone 5 days. And she exhales again and she says, "The neighborhood kid knows. A young boy." And then my heart sank. And I go, "The 10-year-old strange kid next door?" And I said, "But nobody's seen them. They've been away for 5 days. And I'm like, oh, wow. The only piece of information I have is from this chain-smoking psychic who says the little boy next door knows. I decide, well, I have to go next door and find out if there's any clues in the house. Literally looked in all the windows and, tried to figure out how to get in. And at one point, I'm looking with the flashlight into this black room, and I see an orange blur in the background. Now, I think I'm hallucinating because I'm so desperate to find him. But the blur keeps walking forward and comes right up, and it's Zachy, and he comes right up to the glass, and he puts his paw on the glass. And then, like it was a prison visit, I put my paw on the glass, and he meows.
Well, it is a great story, and I encourage listeners to pick up The Secret of Lost Cats. Well, I have 10 copies to give away. Is that correct, Judy?
Yes, we do.
Thanks for calling the Veteran Car Donation Program. How can I help you?
Can you come and pick up my car and give me that tax deduction I've heard all about?
Sure. We can pick it up in about 2 business days or less.
Call right now and donate your car to help our veterans. Call 800-927-9819. 800-927-9819. 800-927-9819. Call right now. 800-927-9819.
Don't forget, you can get your fix of Animal Radio anytime you want with the Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android. It's made possible by Fear Free, helping your pets live their happiest, healthiest, fullest lives at home, at the vet, and everywhere in between. Visit them at fearfree.com to find care near you.
It's Animal Radio. Don't forget to download the free Animal Radio app. It won't help you find your pet, but it will connect you with Animal Radio to ask your questions about your pet, whether it's a question for Dr. Debbie or dog trainer Alan Cable, dog father Joey Villani, or animal communicator Joy Turner. And you can also listen to the show, free download for iPhone and Android. And this question came in off the app. And it's from John. He writes, have you all ever heard of a product called Fur Fast for dogs and cats? It's a weight loss product to help obese dogs lose weight at a safe rate. I was concerned about the ingredient. And he goes on to list the ingredients. And because I really can't pronounce them, I'm just going to give them to you, Doctor, and you can take a look at them and tell me what you think.
I'll try my best, too. Facius vulgaris.
Ooh.
Faciolus vulgaris.
That's what they call me.
Yeah, that's what they call us.
You're
ugly guy.
There's a lipase blend, Aspergillus niger, fermentation product, and L-carnitine. So I can't say that I've actually heard this particular brand, but all of these ingredients are not unusual. And in different nutritional supplements, we can find some of these different things cropping up. And I can't say that anything really has me too alarmed, that it sounds dangerous. And one ingredient, L-carnitine, is actually been looked at by veterinary nutritionists, and it has found to be beneficial for weight loss. So that might be something that you can consider. I will tell you all the way around, though, is that weight loss it comes down to a formula, a math formula. Take in less calories than you need, expend more calories in the output. So for me, I always go back to that math equation. So no supplement is going to replace that. Good, sound calorie counting, it really applies for dogs as well. So for me, I might look at L-carnitine as an additive feature, but it's not going to do it on its own.
So you shouldn't be giving any kind of supplements just to lose weight on its own. There's no real it's just like humans. There's no secret pill or anything.
No, but I think it's always great to be alerted to the possibility of your pet being overweight, because it is an epidemic in the United States, and really the interesting thing and the funny thing that veterinarians will tell you is that 45% of people will mistakenly say that their pet is in good, healthy weight, when during that veterinary exam, the vet is going to tell them your pet is actually overweight. So we have to really start to recognize the problem of obesity. So I'm glad that this listener is paying attention to the problem of obesity, because really over 50% of our dogs and cats in the United States are currently overweight or obese. So it's a big problem.
Dr. Debbie, can't you tell when you look at your dog? I mean, what are the signs visually when you look at a dog that he is overweight?
Well, when you're looking at a dog, we go by body condition scoring. So this is a method of looking at the body, and I usually use a score between 1 to 5, 1 being very skinny and 5 being just obese. So a 3 is ideal. And what we want to see is a little tucked up area on the flank when you look at them from the side. When you look down over top of them, you don't want to see a potato shape. You want to see a little bit of an indentation at the waist. And when you actually touch them, you should feel the ribs with just a little bit of gentle pressure. If you're feeling padding, squishing, then you've got extra weight on that baby. And what's really interesting is people will bring in dogs to me. They say, "Oh, I found this stray dog. He's so skinny." No, he's not. He's in perfect body weight. This is what a normal weight dog that looks like in the United States. So we have to get used to that and teach ourselves what that looks like.
You know what I really like is the guys and gals that bring their dogs into the vet office and they say, okay, well, I'm feeding them Hill's diet, science diet, special diet, lose weight stuff, and they're still gaining weight, and at the same time they're giving them treats.
Table scraps
and all kinds of other stuff.
Yes, everything adds up. Everything that they put in their mouth or that we give them, it all does add up. And there are some different strategies with weight loss diets, and there's some really exciting things out on the forefront. And I'm not going to plug any one company, but Science Diet has a new diet called a metabolic diet that's a little different than anything else in the past, where we're not talking about fiber content. It is actually a natural balance of ingredients that turns on the lean dog genes in that body, and it shuts down the fat dog genes. Helps them to lose weight, even if you kind of cheat a little bit. So,
can I try it?
Yeah, I was going to say, can't they come up with that for people?
Yeah.
Veterinary medicine is always on cutting edge. Human medicine sometimes lags behind.
I'm looking at these flashcards here, and they show what food treats, junk food that we give them, what it's equivalent to for humans, and it's like one French fry. If you give your dog one French fry, is equivalent to 6 cheeseburgers. If we ate 6 cheeseburgers,
that's so bad to give a dog fried food, isn't it, Dr. Debbie? I mean, isn't that death right there?
Well, yeah, it's not a good idea in any which way. It's making us feel better, but it's really doing nothing for that pet's nutrition. And all those empty calories, you're taking away a belly that's, I have a client the other day that their dog wouldn't eat anything, but they were feeding it all these other treats and snacks, and it's where's the good nutrition? We're not getting that because we're getting junk.
Good to know. Well, there you go. If you have a question for Dr. Debbie or for dog trainer Alan Cable, dog father Joey Villani, or Joey Turner, you can call through the free Animal Radio app. Stacy, what do you got coming up?
I know this isn't exactly a animal story per se, but we talk a lot about insects from time to time as well, including animals on my newscasts. And There's a Chinese man who had a parasite, a worm actually, inside his head.
Ooh.
A 6-inch long worm was inside his skull. I'll tell you about it. And that worm was living. Are you grossed out yet? Well, if you want all the details, I'll finish you off. Coming up on Animal Radio News.
That's like the scariest thing ever.
Yeah, that is.
No, it is not cool, Dr. Debbie. It is not cool.
So cool.
No.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Do you hear that? That's the sound of uncertainty lurking under your hood. You know the feeling. I know I do. That sudden sinking sensation when you see a check engine light or your car unexpectedly breaks down and you're faced with sky-high repair bills. It's time to shield against unexpected repairs with CarShield. CarShield is America's most trusted auto protection company and has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. Don't let the fear of a breakdown keep you up at night. Trust the Shield, CarShield, and say goodbye to terrifying repair bills and hello to peace of mind. Your plan also comes with 24/7 roadside assistance, courtesy towing, rental car options, and so much more. Don't wait till it's too late. Call CarShield now before a breakdown. Protect your wallet. Protect your car with CarShield. Get our best protection ever. Call now. You'll thank me later. 800-987-0618. 800-987-0618. That's 800-987-0618.
Celebrating the connection with our pets. This is Animal Radio, featuring your dream team. Veterinarian Dr. Debbie White, dog trainer Alan Cable, groomer Joey Villani, communicator Joy Turner, and here are your hosts, Al Abrams and Judy Francis.
Welcome, my friend. It's our Lost Show today. We're going to be talking about ways not to lose your pet and what happens when you lose your pet. Also on the show today, in all seriousness, John Polimeno. John, he's going to come on. I'm going to slaughter his name, but he's going to tell us about his app, his iPhone app, which helps you find Rover or whatever your dog's name is. That's all in the way right here on Animal Radio. Let's take a call for Alan Cable. Hey, Rick.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing today? Where are you calling from?
Right now I'm in Wichita, Kansas. I'm a truck driver out of Arkansas.
Do you travel with your dog?
I do, all the time, and I have for over 30 years.
Oh, good.
I have a Siberian Husky. He's 4 years old, and he's got unusual temperament for a Siberian Husky. I've had 3 in my life. One lived to be 18, one was 12 when she died, and then I've got this one here who's 4. All of them been purebred. None of them are papered. They were just purebred Huskies. But this one, he's extremely nervous, and that's in or out of the truck. So bad that at times he just trembles. And I can manage that pretty good just by cuddling, comforting him. But the problem I'm having with him, and he's the first one I've had this problem with, is he is housebroken as long as somebody's right there. He'll come and get you, tell you he needs to go out. He'll hold it all night long. But as soon as somebody steps away, he'll pee or poop somewhere. And I just don't know how to control that.
Hey, Rick, have you had this dog since the dog was a puppy?
I have. He was 7 weeks old when we got him.
You know, it's interesting. What do you do when the dog pees and poops, when you come back and you find it? What do you do?
I will scold him, and then I will walk him to the door and take him outside.
Okay. All right. Firstly, don't scold him anymore, okay? When you walk back and you find it, don't pay any attention to him at all. Just put his leash on, unless you catch him doing it. Unless you catch him in the act, that's the only time you quickly make a correction. And it's not a scolding. It's like, hey, stop it. And then you take him outside immediately, and then you praise him when he goes outside. But when he does it and you don't catch him, you walk back, you take him to where he can't see you clean it up. It's very important that he doesn't see you clean it up. In other words, dogs are always watching us for cues, for leadership cues. And a dog will figure out how to get attention from his owner.
Oh, yeah. And these Huskies are so extremely intelligent. They learn really quick.
The other thing I was going to tell you after I tell you about this is the fear that your dog has and how to alleviate that. Dogs are nervous for lots of reasons. But anyway, you take your dog away from the accident, you clean it up, and pay no attention to your dog. It's very, very important you pay no attention to your dog. And as soon as you stop paying attention to the dog, and absolutely do not let the dog see you clean it up, because some dogs get a big rise out of that, So, and then use an enzyme cleaner to alleviate the smell. You've got to get the smell out, or the dog will keep marking the same spot. So take your dog out.
Nature's Miracle, I think, is the name of the product.
Yeah, that's a good product. So take your dog out before you plan to walk away, and you might also try confining the dog either in his crate or in a small space because they don't like to go there, and that will pretty much hopefully eliminate the dog going when you're not around, so that you can control the dog. Now, as far as the fear goes, the one thing that you don't want to do, believe it or not, when your dog is shaking and fearful, again, is to give your dog attention. So, because your dog will continue to be fearful and shake because he's getting attention. So you want to teach him to be calm and happy and mellow without you around and in every situation. It's not uncommon for dogs to be scared of doorways and shadows and hallways. It's very common because a dog will have a bad experience in a hallway or a bad experience in a certain part of the house or looking at a shadow, and will associate that bad experience with either the doorway, the hallway, or the shadow or something like that. So you have to turn those into good experiences by figuring out and watching your dog. Watch your dog to see what is making your dog afraid. Try to notice what the fear trigger is. And when you figure it out, you can eliminate the fear trigger over time just by sitting. Like, let's say your dog was afraid of his shadow. You would just sit there in front of the dog with his shadow there, and you would give him treats and invite him into the shadow and pet him. No parade, though. No hugging, no comforting, just good dog. Give him a treat. Until he starts to associate either the doorway or the shadow with something pleasurable, like you giving him a treat. It's a very powerful trigger. To change an association, it's very powerful when you use positive reinforcement. So watch your dog because he's watching you, and be a leader. Yeah. Be a strong, confident leader, and your dog will calm down.
Yeah, I've just never seen that in the Husky. They're generally very calm, very happy-go-lucky dogs. And
all dogs are different,
He has nightmares. He will jump up and run smack into a wall because he's not even awake.
You know what? All dogs do that. I mean, my dog does that too. He's chasing something.
I've never seen one do that. This one's the first one. I've had 4 or 5 dogs in my life. I've always kept them from birth till death.
So does that rattle you? Do you get nervous when that happens yourself? Do you notice that in yourself?
Yeah, I noticed that the last incident. I thought he just about wiped himself out. He jumped up and ran smack into the coffee table, and I have a very heavy coffee table. It's one of the ones with the marble top on it. And he moved the coffee table 2 feet and just started crying. He wouldn't get up off the floor. I didn't know what had happened to him.
I want you to consciously think of being calm and being a leader and being that dog's confidence. I want you to be confident in yourself and be that dog's rock. And when you start acting that way, your dog's going to mellow right out. I guarantee it. It'll take a couple of days, but you'll notice a behavioral change in your dog. As you gain confidence, your dog will too. They feed off of us. You wouldn't believe it, but they do.
Okay. Well, I know he's with me 24/7. I mean, it's unless I go to the store or something like that when I'm at home. But in the truck, he's with me every day in the truck, and he doesn't go anywhere that I'm not there. So
just be confident and envision the outcome you want. Just think, if you want your dog to stay, think of him staying in your head. Think of exactly what you want in your head.
All right. I appreciate the info. We'll try some
Thank
of the
you,
new
buddy.
techniques.
Thanks for calling.
Hi, Debbie. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. What's going on in your world?
I think I need to talk to Dr. Debbie. I have an unusual situation. I have 4 Boston Terriers, and I have one of them who's at 6 years old. He has developed a weird thing when the leaves started to fall this year that he's never had before. And that's where he starts bubbling out of his nose, and he has trouble breathing, and then he might fall over on his side and spit up phlegm and then be okay. But it's seemingly... you can see that he's in distress. We've been to the emergency clinic and integrative veterinarian here and a regular veterinarian, and nobody seems to really have a real answer. They just want to put him on prednisone or Temerol P and Benadryl, and then he seems okay, sort of. And then when we start to wean him off, he goes back to the same weird behavior. And we've had leaves, for the 6 years that we have had him, and this is the first time I've ever seen this.
Okay. And so has he had problems breathing unrelated to the fall? Being a Boston Terrier, has he had problems with any kind of nasal surgery, soft palate, as far as stenotic
He
nares?
had, before the age of 12 months, he had 2 soft palate surgeries at Ohio State University.
Okay.
And the nasal one, too.
Okay. All right. So he has. So, and that's the big thing. Now, when he has the episodes, when he's bubbling in that, does he just fall over kind of all of a sudden, have any kind of seizure-like activity?
It does not look like a seizure, and they don't think that it is. They think that he can't get air. And because right afterwards he spits up white phlegm, and then he's like fine. And he's not really passing out, but he just falls over on his side, and when he does that, it's and I've even tried, like I've given the Heimlich, and the white phlegm will pop out and he'll feel fine. So what they're saying is they think it's accumulating, the excessive mucus is accumulating, and I was told he has an extra fat tongue, and that he has, even since the surgery, he just has a tiny little opening, through his throat.
I gotcha. All right. And that's going to be the big thing is what I think your boy is doing is having vagal episodes. And this is actually something that happens a lot in the brachycephalic breeds, the short-faced breeds. And one of the reasons is that, well, I'll back up. The vagus nerve is a nerve that goes from the head down to the abdomen. And there can be certain things in the body that disrupt that or overstimulate that nerve. For some animals and people, it can be things like digestive problems. It can be respiratory problems. And I see this a lot in the brachycephalics, that if they have a lot of the respiratory components to the upper airway disease, they have the narrowed nostrils, they have a narrow trachea, long soft palate. They can even get everted tracheal or laryngeal saccules and some other changes up there. So some of those things they might not see, but they might suspect. You'd have to kind of go up with a scope to see some of those other things in the back of the throat. But just being of that breed and having some of these airway changes, it's going to make it very likely that the vagus nerve can get overstimulated. And what happens with that? The heart rate drops, and the heart doesn't pump as well, and the blood pressure drops, and the pet will pass out. And you usually come right back up. I've even seen dogs do this after they vomit. So where they'll vomit and then they just pass out and then they come right back up. So the goal is to try to address what is the biggest problem, and that's going to be the respiratory disease. So that might mean going to have, some of these other upper airway things evaluated and to see if those need to be addressed. And then the other thing is, if we have allergies, something seasonal that makes our respiratory symptoms worse, oh boy, you've got an extra whammy onto the whole thing there. So then we might talk about, things like, steroids can be helpful for the short term, but you may even want to see a dermatologist for allergy testing. And molds, just like anything else seasonally, we can test for. We can desensitize a pet with hyposensitization injections, and that might be one thing you can do.
You can do that to mold, leaf mold?
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. And every region in the country is a little different in some of those things, so you have to make sure that testing is done appropriate for your area.
I see. Okay, great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for your call, Debbie.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Find us at animalradio.com. Log on, learn more.
What could be more horrible than a worm living in your head?
If you turned 65 recently like me, it's important you find a Medicare Advantage plan that gives you the coverage you're looking for. But finding one can be difficult. The best thing I did, and I suggest you do the same, is call a licensed insurance agent and let them walk you through your Medicare Advantage plan options. There are so many benefits you have access to, so make the call now and let the representatives explain everything to you. Our licensed insurance agents can offer you a variety of Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, the call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation to enroll. We're here to make it easy for you to select a Medicare Advantage plan that may work for your needs. Finding a Medicare Advantage plan can be easy if you do what I did. Make a quick call right now to learn more. Thank you.
800-880-3141. 800-880-3141. 800-880-3141. That's 800-880-3141.
Hi, it's Alan Cable. Time for another dog tip. My wife and her friend were taking a walk through the neighborhood and were terrified by a dog that charged them from the driveway. My wife's friend was really scared and wanted to throw rocks at the dog. Nothing happened, and just so you know, even if a dog were to attack you, the odds that you're going to get seriously hurt are very, very, very low. Most dog bites, even the ones that send people to the emergency room, don't require much attention at all. So the most important thing is to prepare yourself mentally, just in case. You know, you're taking a walk through your neighborhood and all of a sudden there's a charging dog coming at you. That's pretty unnerving and scary, even if you prepare yourself for it. Your number one goal is to diffuse the situation. Try to stay calm and collected. Don't turn and run. As tempting as that is, dogs are predatory animals, and you running will activate the prey instinct. He'll probably chase you. Remember, dog attacks are rare, and even if you do get bitten, the vast majority of dog bites, even the ones that send folks to the emergency room, require very little attention. So if you're walking past someone's house and a dog surprises you, be calm, stand tall. Again, be calm. Don't look him in the eye, look into the distance. But stand tall and face him. You can look to the left, to the right, doesn't matter. Stand there confident and in charge inside your own mind. The dog will probably lose interest and walk away. Then you too start walking away, keeping your body sideways to the dog, making sure you can see him. Calm, confident, relaxed, take deep breaths. Dogs read your body language very well. So a confident, calm, non-aggressive response from you makes you a very uninteresting target. Sometimes the dog gets excited scaring people, and other times he's protecting his territory or warning the people in the house that someone's there. If you're calm and confident and move slowly without nervousness, the dog will probably lose interest in you and go back to the house. If the dog decides to chase after you as you slowly move away, turn around and stand your ground. I know that's hard to do. Again, don't look at the dog in the eye. He should lose interest, walk away, and then you slowly retreat. But make sure you don't turn your back to him. If he comes at you again, repeat the process. Get more tips at animalradio.com.
And let's take another call for the good doctor, Dr. Debbie. We have Jim on the phone. Hey, Jim, how you doing?
Good, yourself?
Very good. Where are you today?
Ventura, California.
Lovely Ventura. That's home for us.
Yes, I love Ventura.
The stunning Dr. Debbie's right here next to Yes.
Thank you, Hal. With that introduction, man, I better have a good answer for you here today. What do you got going on?
Well, I got a Lopso that's got, I don't know if it's got fleas or I don't know if it's a diet because he's itching and scratching and biting himself till he gets really raw.
What parts of his body is he doing that on?
Normally it's like his rear legs, back in the hind area, and underneath his leg.
Okay. The big thing is that when we're talking about the causes of itching, one of the first things in many parts of the country we really have to address very aggressively is flea control. And they are just a huge problem in that one bite can cause an itch response that can last for weeks. So it's hard sometimes to see these little critters, and they only spend a very small proportion of their time on the pet. So we need to do a very good vigilant flea control. That might be something like a spot-on product that sounds like you may have been doing, but it also is going to require finding out a little bit more about what's going on in your pet's skin. And when we're talking about allergies, that can be a huge cause of itching. And there's food allergies, which are related to the proteins that they're taking in, and that a pet can be sensitive to those, as well as inhalant or environmental allergies. So there's kind of this whole bag we kind of classify as allergies, but they can be from different types of situations. So food allergies, yes, can cause itching, and it's probably one of the more common things in my area that cause itching in the Las Vegas area. But we also want to look for things like those fleas, as well as infections, yeast, bacterial, and other types of processes that can be going on. So for me, I would take a look at your baby. I would do a nice physical exam, look through their fur. If there's any redness or sores or moisture on the skin, I'd like to sample that because that gears us towards the right medications if we need to go there. So I think that you're going to need to get at least some veterinary guidance on this from someone who can put their eyeballs on your dog. Some of the simple things that we can try, at least until you can get to the vet's office, are going to include using things like antihistamines. Most dogs can tolerate things like Benadryl, chlorpheniramine, which are antihistamines that can help with the itch response, as well as...
Give like a Benadryl?
Yeah. Most dogs can take Benadryl. There can be some sensitivities for some pets that have seizure disorders and things like that. But you will want to confirm that and check with your veterinarian to make sure your pet can take that and that would be appropriate. But that would be something they can guide you through. The other thing that you can do is to use topical therapy. And just like a person, when you got, like, say, chicken pox and you're itching really bad, oh, that was so long ago, but I remember that. You can take an Aveeno bath, an oatmeal bath, and there are products that have the similar ingredient that can be soothing to a pet. And it can last for about 2 to 3 days. Then the benefit wears off and you got to do it again. So colloidal oatmeal shampoos, conditioning sprays, things of that nature, and that might help at least get you through that point until you can get to that veterinary office and you see what your particular situation is.
Can I mix like a flea bath with that oatmeal stuff?
No, you're not going to want to mix anything with that kind of product. You can alternate those on different days. So if you're doing a flea bath or a flea treatment, most of those you want to leave on and not wash the product off right away. But you can alternate that in doing a colloidal oatmeal bath on another day or a week later. All right.
That's the food.
Yeah, now food is kind of gets into a kind of lengthy conversation when we talk about food allergies, and that's not going to be a quick fix. So I would say that might be phase 2 or phase 3 when we're talking about trying to control the itch. The first thing is to really make sure we're tackling those fleas aggressively, treating the pet and the environment, and then also looking for these other problems, the skin infections that we need to kind of control before we can expect to stop that itch.
All right, cool. I appreciate that.
Good luck with that, Jim.
My pleasure.
Thanks for your time, you guys.
Take care.
It's the first time I heard your show, so I'm going to listen to it more often.
We appreciate you listening, and we hope to hear from you again.
Yeah, you will. Thanks for being there.
Of course.
A little early. I'm just going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Okay, so you're going to the bathroom now?
Yeah, it'll take me 12 seconds.
Okay.
We're counting, Alan.
I know. It's going to go.
Oh, no. You know what? I'll stay.
Well, I'd rather your bladder be.
Just go. Hurry up.
Just go.
All right.
All right, guys.
Is diabetes keeping you from enjoying life's special moments? At US Med, we understand the challenges you face, and we're here to help.
With US Med, I can finally manage my diabetes without it managing me.
US Med offers a wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plans, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll check your insurance so your diabetes care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With US Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose US Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. US Med. Better service. Better care. 800-434-5019. 800-434-5019. 800-434-5019. That's 800-434-5019.
This is an Animal Radio News Update.
I'm Stacy Cohen for Animal Radio. Well, a mechanical likeness of a bear best known for roaming through several Glendale, California neighborhoods is going to be featured on the city's official Rose Parade float. This bear, I remember seeing the video of it. It was probably a couple hours. He was going in and out of people's backyards while they were trying to chase him. The city council approved the idea this week, and the display is projected to cost about $155,000. Most of the money expected to come from private donors. The 400-pound animal was dubbed Meatball because they caught him eating frozen Costco meatballs in a garage freezer. Meatball became quasi-celebrity after his roaming was captured by several LA TV station helicopters. A 60-year-old Chinese man had been suffering from nasty headaches and fainting fits for more than 6 months before he went to see a doctor. Well, an X-ray of Wang Ming's head revealed that he had a 6-inch-long parasitic worm inside of his skull. I'm going to give you a moment to think about that. He was admitted to the First People's Hospital to have it removed in a 3-hour operation. Here's the best part. You ready for this? He's alive, well, and wormless. The worst part, when doctors removed the terrifying parasite and put it in a container of water, it started swimming around. I know. Your food right now is just kind of swimming around your mouth. Okay, ready for this? A bear wanders into a bar, and a drink's named after him. I'm not kidding. It's not a joke. It really happened at a pub in Estes Park, Colorado.
My wife happened to put on, after she saw the pic, one of our bartenders that evening was Missy, and she said, well, the bear wandered in for a drink, but sadly had to leave because Missy wouldn't serve him because he didn't have his ID.
Dave Callahan's with Lagunius Saloon Nightclub and Grill and says the bear came in through the back door of the bar on West Elkhorn Avenue. Security camera footage shows the bear making its way past empty tables and turning around and sauntering right back inside. Patrons at the bar were completely oblivious to the animal. The bear's gotten so much attention, Callahan actually named a drink after him. Well, I know this isn't funny, but I'm kind of laughing anyway. Police in the city of Oldham, England, were investigating allegations of animal cruelty against one Musa Khan when a police dog with no understanding of irony ate the guy's hamster. Despite the dog being forced to cough it up, the animal had died, unfortunately, and an awkward pause no doubt followed before police resumed their bold crusade of animal protection. Hamsters accepted. Khan was charged with mistreating his parakeet, banned from bird ownership for 2 years. The dog later told his friends at the pound that, as they all had suspected, hamsters do taste like chicken. I'm Stacey Cohen. Get more animal breaking news at animalradio.com.
This has been an Animal Radio News Update. Get more at animalradio.com. Portions of today's show are a repeat from an earlier broadcast.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Here's Hal and Judy.
It's Animal Radio. It is our big lost show today. We're talking about your lost animals. And this next guest, John Polimeno, drives around a big old RV promoting Finding Rover, which is his brand new iPhone app that will help you find your animal using face recognition software. Now, you've seen this. Maybe if you're an Apple guy, you know that Apple, in some of their programs, they use face recognition. I've never seen it used for I've never seen it used for animals. I can't imagine that would be very easy. But we got John on the phone. Hey, John, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
I am very enthused by this whole idea that you have here. Is it working?
Oh, absolutely. It is. And, we launched 2 weeks ago, and in the first 2 weeks, we've recovered through facial recognition 7 dogs already.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Now I want to know more. So it's a smartphone app, and you got to explain this for Alan. Alan has a dumb phone, unfortunately. Doesn't have a smartphone. Yes. But how does it find? Obviously, you got to put your animal's picture in there so that it can recognize it later on, I assume. Explain for the dummies like me.
Oh, it's actually really simple. All you do, the app is free. You download the app, and then you register your dog by taking a photo of it. When you take a photo of your dog, you'll be prompted to take and mark the eyes and the nose, and that's it. And as soon as you do that, your dog is registered.
That sounds so simple, but let me tell you right now, Ladybug, the studio stud dog, it's really hard to get a good photo of her. How do I even get her to look at the camera?
Well, that was one of the toughest things. But what we did is we invented a bark button. So when you go to the camera in the app, there's a little bark button, and when you hit it, we found that a puppy squealing attracts the attention of 99% of the dogs who look straight at the camera. And then you take.
That's absolutely true.
Wow, that is ingenious.
Yeah, it's hilarious when you see them when you see it work. I mean, they're looking around all of a sudden straight at the camera.
John, I got to ask you something because I'm a little bit of the skeptic probably here in the group.
Always, yeah.
So, have you looked at like families of related dogs, and does the software work within just like related dogs that you might have?
I guess what you're saying is some animals look alike.
Yeah, so if you've got brothers, sisters, can it discern them?
Actually, the software and the programming doesn't know it's actually a dog. So we were fortunate enough to partner up with the University of Utah and these amazing scientists who spent a year developing this software. And so it doesn't know it's a dog. So you can actually put 100 German Shepherds in the database, put yours in there, and yours will pop up in the top 3 98% of the time.
Wow, that is pretty impressive. Judy has downloaded the app, and she's just about to take a picture of Ladybug using the bark feature, which you just talked about. Go ahead, if you will.
Great.
If it doesn't work, I can make her stare at the camera.
Okay, so when you hit the button, that's the sound it makes, and your dog looks at the camera, and it snaps a photo of your dog that you need to register. So I got to ask, it's a free application. How are you making your money? Come on, big guy. Spill the beans.
We're not. We're very fortunate that we had some wonderful investors that are dog lovers. Our premise was that it was always going to be free. There was never going to be any charge. It's been 3 years in the development. Eventually, I'm sure we'll bring in sponsors and so forth and so on, but we didn't want to be one of those sites that all you see is advertising, advertising, advertising. This is really about us as a community looking after each other's pets. And
oh my God, dude! I just want to hug you so bad right now.
Well, thank you. It's been both humbling and amazing in the last 3 weeks. I mean, I come from the construction industry. I sold my company when 3 years ago. I came up with this idea in a coffee shop, looking at a lost dog.
Coffee shop, wink, wink. Okay,
Starbucks,
I get it.
huh?
Yeah, looking at a lost dog poster with my wife, and brought back memories of this dog we'd lost, and driving around the neighborhood with our kids crying in the back, and posters and everything we did. And I thought there had to be a better way, and this idea popped in my head, and I stuck with it, and 3 years later, here we are.
But did you find your dog?
You're brilliant.
Luckily, 2 days later, a neighbor had our dog.
Oh,
so
good.
there was a happy ending to our dog, Harley.
We're hearing a lot of stories like that today.
Yeah, the neighbors.
Check your neighbors first if your dog is. So you've said you've had 7 recoveries just recently. Tell us about that and how it worked.
Well, what will happen is when you post your dog lost, it goes into the database. A push notification goes out to everybody that has the app within a 10-mile area.
Wow.
When somebody finds a dog and they take a picture of the dog, it automatically does a search, and it'll pop up the 5 most likely dogs to the search. And if there's a match, that's the only time you ever put your phone number. It's the only time we ever ask anything about the owners. We don't ask anything until you lose your dog or you find a dog, and that's just a phone number so you can contact each other. And once that happens, the owner will then click that my dog's back home, and we have a success.
You've had 7 of those this week. That's pretty amazing. So I see this is only available for the iPhone. What about Android?
Android will be out in about 90 days. I say it's simple, but it's been 3 years developing. It's a very complicated app. So we wanted to make sure we worked out all the bugs with one platform. So we're working out all the bugs in the Apple platform, and within 90 days, Android will be out. And also, for those who are not mobile phone savvy, you'll be able to upload your dog's picture on our website and do the exact same thing. So anybody that has a phone can help you find your dog.
Wow, you got to love it. Okay,
Very
so
cool.
Here's the website, findingrover.com. Findingrover.com to learn more. It is a free app, so why not? Why not register your animal right now? So just in case somewhere down the line you leave the door open like a bonehead, the dog is missing, and all of a sudden you remember, hey, I have this app that has his face in it. And someone may take a picture. Now, what about the person that has to that finds the animal? They have to take a picture of the animal too, right?
Right. Well, that's the beauty of it. And we want you to do everything. We want you to chip your dog. We want you to do everything you can to protect your dog. But the great thing about this is Sunday afternoon in a park and there's a big dog there, all you have to do is take a picture to identify it. You don't have to put it in your car, take it anywhere, do anything. Just take a picture.
Is your company public? Can I get it on the stock exchange?
No, we're not. But some other exciting news. We also developed it for cats. It actually works even better for cats. We can't get it not to identify a cat. In about 3 months, Finding Kitty will be out. So you'll be able to do it for cats.
When does Finding Ex-Husband come out?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody will ever look for them.
Yeah, who cares?
I'm thinking 1 year. I'm betting 1 year you will have been bought up by... I'm thinking Pet Finder, Discovery Communications.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be on Easy Street after about a year. But a great invention, and we applaud you for this.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you.
John Polimeno joining us. FindingRover.com is the website, and why not check it out?
That's just amazing what that guy did.
It is. He's got some big money behind him. Look at the picture of his RV.
Oh, he'll be bought out.
I guarantee it. How do we get in? Why can't we come up with ideas like that, Alan?
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
If you're a diabetic, we have great news. You can end the painful finger sticks with a new CGM. Plus, they may be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. If you use insulin or have had hypoglycemic events, you may qualify. Call US Med now to learn more.
800-434-5019. 800-434-5019. 800-434-5019. That's 800-434-5019.
You're listening to Animal Radio. If you missed any part of today's show, visit us at animalradio.com or download the Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Hey, Phil, how are you?
Okay, I have two little troublemaking Yorkies that I just love like there's no tomorrow. But one of them is chewing and chewing and chewing everything. I have tried hot sauce. I have tried the stuff that you buy at pet care stores that's supposed to make it bitter and they hate the taste of it. Not with Molly. Molly has managed to chew through all of the collars that I've gotten. She has managed to chew through her license. The pet carrier that I have her, or that I put her in for this, she chewed away part that actually locks the door.
You know, let me ask you a couple of questions. Is your dog neutered or spayed? It's a little boy dog, right? Is he neutered yet?
No, they were both spayed when they were 6 months old, right? Just between 6 months and a year old. They were
beautiful. And does your dog have any? Does your dog have any physical problems? Have you checked your dog out with the vet, the one that's chewing, just to be safe?
Oh, they have.
Oh, Phil, the dog's got your leg, Phil.
They have their own little HMO. Okay, each one of them. Every time they sneeze, they go to the doc. I mean,
beautiful. Now, Phil, I got another question for you, Phil. I got questions, and I know you've got answers. Do you play with your dog, Phil? Do you walk your dog every day for like a half hour?
Constantly. Okay, I drive a truck cross country.
Right.
And every time the air brakes go on, they get out.
Right. Do you tire them out good, though, Phil? Does you tire the little dogs out to where they want to sleep and stuff? Here's my suggestion, without knowing you and being there with you, Phil. When you take your dogs out and you tire them out, you put the dog in the crate immediately after. And as soon as the dog is laying there being calm, you tell your dog what a good dog he is, and you give him a treat. You reward him for calm behavior in the crate, okay? The more tired that dog is, the better it's going to be for you. And when you decide to play with the dog and do a chew thing, like where you're going to play with the dog, where the dog's going to get to chew something, then you always have only 2 or 3 toys. Pick the favorite ones, your dog's favorite ones, and you stick that in his face, and when he starts chewing it, you're like, good boy, good dog. And you're consistent, Phil. You do it day in and day out. But the most important thing is to tire your dog out and to teach your dog to be alone without you, so that when you leave, your dog is calm. And when you come back, your dog is calm. So you want to work towards calmness. You want your dog to be calm all the time, except when you're playing. At other times, like you said, whenever she hears the air brakes, she starts to rev up. So that's like a little trigger that tells her, oh, we're going to stop. I'm going to get out. Well, so then play with the air brakes and don't stop, Phil, so that she starts to associate the air brakes with nothing. You don't want to give her any triggers that get her wound up and kooky and crazy. Are you there, Phil?
Yeah,
I think
I didn't want to interrupt you. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Phil, then you want to get married? I'd love a wife like you.
Hey, bud.
Yeah. I'm looking for a woman who won't interrupt me. You're the next best thing.
Not me, man. You got the wrong person for that. Don't even go there.
I'm messing
you
with
made
Phil.
him speechless.
I did. I took away his breath.
Hey, listen, man. I am open-minded, but not to the point that I let my brain fall out, okay? You know.
Gotcha, Phil. Well, Phil, did anything I say about your pooch, did that help you at all? To make any sense?
Kind of, but you'd have to understand Molly. She's...
I don't have to understand Molly. I have to understand you, Phil.
Yeah, I know. One thing I am, my dogs, is very consistent. They have never been off of they came from the breeder's arms right into my arms in Des Moines, Iowa, right into my truck, okay? This is the only life they've ever known. They get out 4 and 5 times a day for at least a half hour to run and play and bite at each other and play and just have a good time. Then they get back in, they get a good treat for coming to me when I call them, and we go on down the road. The problem is when I go inside to eat in a restaurant, I come back out and something has been chewed up. And they have...
Well, Phil, again, when you leave, don't say goodbye to them, don't talk to them. Just leave. Learn to stop talking, okay? About a half hour before you know you're going to pull over to eat, do not talk to your dogs at all. Just be calm. And remember, play with. You got to set it up in your brain. I'm going to play with the dogs. I'm going to exhaust the dogs. I'm going to get back in the truck. I'm going to drive another 40 minutes with the dog in the crate. Then I'm going to leave the truck without saying a word, and I'm going to come back without saying a word. You got to do this stuff, Phil, consistently. It's not going to change overnight. You got a young, energetic dog, and you're probably not getting the dog tired enough. You probably think you are, but the dog needs to be run a lot to the point of exhaustion, where she just doesn't want to run anymore. She just wants to stop.
Does he put the dog in a crate while he goes in? I don't get what's going to keep him from chewing.
Well, what keeps dogs chew because they
chews through the crate, man.
Really?
This dog has bionic jaws.
He has a billy goat. He don't have a dog.
Dogs chew because they're bored. 9 times out of 10, if there's nothing wrong with the dog, they chew out of boredom. They're bored. And that just means they're not getting enough energy released. And they'll start chewing everything. And you've got to teach them what they can chew. And you've got to work towards being calm. You know, I'm just talking to you. You know, you're a guy who likes to talk a lot. I'll bet you're talking to those dogs all the time.
I was quiet, and you told me, you said, Phil, were you there? And I said, I didn't want to interrupt.
I got to agree with you. I got to agree with Phil there.
I'm with Phil, too.
He did say that.
I agree with Phil, too. I agree with Phil, too.
I have not missed anything. You are telling me that there are triggers. I'm going to have to watch for those triggers.
Yes.
And I'm going to have to adjust my behavior in order to adjust the dog's behavior. How's that
now
for
you're
a good
talking.
listen?
Now you're talking.
Well, that's all we have time for today. I know you wish you had a lot more. And there is more over at the website at animalradio.com.
Bye.
This is Animal Radio Network.